You don't have to complicate your marketing. You don't have to look at every single new trend, every shiny object that comes out. You can find those little things that are in the industry that you can push back on that is poor messaging that will help disrupt the industry and help you stand out because you're saying something different than what everybody else is saying. If you focus on clarity, you focus on not confusing your customers and making it absolutely simple, you will win.
You're listening to the StoryBrand podcast based on Donald Miller's best-selling book, Building a StoryBrand. The StoryBrand framework is made up of 7 key elements, all of them anchored in one powerful idea. Your customer is the hero, and you are their guide. Each week on the podcast, you'll get exactly what you need to craft clear messaging that connects with more customers and grows your business. Now let's dive in with your hosts, Donald Miller and Kyle Reed.
Today we're talking with Josh Taylor, longtime friend and CMO of OptSpot, a StoryBrand certified marketing agency that decided to stop serving everyone, I'm very curious about this, and started serving only one industry, better than anybody else. Their story is a powerful example of what happens when you niche down, go deep, and focus your message. This episode is going to be especially powerful for those of you in the coaching and consulting industry, because Josh became a coach and started a multi-million-dollar coaching organization relatively quickly. How long ago did you pivot into coaching?
So we started the agency, we pivoted into our niche 5 years ago.
All right, and what were you doing before you were coaching?
So we were just a text marketing company.
You were a text marketing company. You were texting
and we
people.
were working with, actually our CEO was the guy that got Chick-fil-A and Sonic on their text marketing platforms. So
wow. Okay.
They do text marketing because of our CEO.
What were you doing before this?
I was a pastor.
You were a pastor.
Yeah. I was
making millions.
Yeah, making millions as a pastor. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to cut back a little bit and become a coach. And no, I was a pastor. And then Levi, our CEO, when he decided to niche, he called me to basically help him with his messaging. He says, because
you were a pastor, but then you got StoryBrand certified.
I got StoryBrand
were you doing
certified.
Like side work?
I was doing it on the side for about a year, and then decided to go all in on
and StoryBrand
business.
Guides, they do marketing and messaging. For those who don't know, you were doing that. What, are you doing that while you were a pastor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So in 2017,
little
I got certified.
The millions in the private jet.
It wasn't enough. I needed I needed the yacht. So I said I'm going to get StoryBrand certified and add that. And so I did that. I pivoted in 2017, or got certified in 2017, and then resigned as a full-time pastor in 2018 and went all in on using the StoryBrand framework to help
What's interesting is I know OptSpot. OptSpot is a coaching organization specializing in marketing and messaging for only car wash owners.
Yep.
And I have met with you guys and met your people enough that I can say, I think pretty accurately, you are still a pastor. I mean, you still pastor a community that just own car washes.
That's kind of that's the approach we take. I mean, it's our obsession is their success. We build those relationships. We're very customer centric, and our customers become really good friends, and they end up talking to us about some of their deepest struggles and faith and all of those different things.
I want to talk about what sort of messages build a coaching business, but before we go there, Josh, why niche down into only one industry? And do you think you would have had the same success if you'd have just worked with business owners across the board?
Yeah. So 5 years ago, our CEO, Levi, was sitting in a deer stand reading StoryBrand. And he had an epiphany at that moment that he either heard from God or Donald Miller and said, we need to go all in on car washes. And we were serving salons, we were serving restaurants, sports clips, and then a couple of car washes. And at the time we were working with about 17 different car wash brands. And through reading,
so a good chunk of your existing clientele were car wash owners for one reason or another.
Yeah, well, they were the ones that were most fun to work with.
Gotcha.
We enjoyed, and they paid for value. Where with restaurants there was a very small margin. Marketing was an expense to them. Car washes saw marketing as an investment as long as it provided the value. And so we wanted to go all in on car washes because we enjoyed working with them. We knew that they valued what we had to offer, and they would pay for it.
That's a master class right there.
Yeah.
Right. You enjoyed working with them, so you're not going to burn out with this group.
We have a policy that we only work with clients that are cool, so that are fun, and we enjoy to work.
Subjective. But really quickly, you enjoyed working with them. They saw the thing that you sold as valuable, right? And what was the third?
They paid for results.
They paid they actually pulled out their credit card and paid their bills.
Yeah.
So those three things, for anybody thinking about niching down, those would be some questions that you would want to ask.
Yeah.
Do you think if you would have not used that strategy, you'd be as big as you are today?
No, absolutely not.
And why do you think that is? I mean, I agree with you, but from your perspective, why?
Well, every time you get into working with messaging with an industry, you have to learn that industry. You have to figure out what are the pain points, what are the problems, what is the message that's going to resonate. When you work with one industry, it's repeatable framework. There's nuances that change. Different markets are a little bit different, but for the most part, we no longer have to spend weeks learning an industry. We can onboard a client in 4 hours and know exactly what the problem is that they're solving and how to message that.
And I imagine you deliver much better value because you're constantly learning best practices about the same industry.
Yeah, we're constantly testing things. We're looking at what's been working. I mean, we went from 17 car wash brands that we're working with to over 400 that we're working with in the last 5 years.
Wow.
And we're constantly looking at what are our most successful customers doing and how can we put that into a playbook that our other customers can use and get the same results. And so it makes getting results for our customers a lot easier because we now have a proven framework that we constantly communicate over and over again. I sent an email out this morning to all of our customers that just reminding them, if you run this playbook, you will be successful. And when they do that, I mean, we have a 99% retention rate. We have less than 1% churn on our customers because they're consistently seeing results.
I mean, at that point, you're just losing people to death.
Right. Yeah. Or they sell.
They died or they
like
sold.
we help our customers become valuable.
I'm surprised more people aren't dying. I mean,
Yeah.
That's pretty. Josh, what are the messages that have built your coaching business that other coaches, whether they're in the insurance industry or whatever they're in, what are the messages that built this business? What did you say to these potential car wash owners so that they became customers?
Well, what we were seeing was that car wash operators were in the weeds of their business. I mean, these are the guys that they're really successful, but they get into, I mean, they're in the tunnels doing maintenance on their washes, and they're, leading their teams, and they're operating their hourly payroll, and they're doing all of the things. And now they have all of these other people telling, well, you should do this with marketing and you should do this with marketing. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to come in and say, look, we want to take care of your marketing so that you have the resources to have a business that doesn't own you. And so we could speak to the customer's pain point.
So basically, the central idea was, outsource your marketing to us.
And we will help you find freedom in your business.
Okay, got it. But that was the central deliverable that you were offering.
Yeah, outsource the strategy to us. And over again, we help them write their text messages. We do their websites. We're the only agency in the industry that's StoryBrand certified that builds their websites, their text messages, their digital ad campaigns, all using the StoryBrand framework.
Fantastic.
We do summits multiple times a year that just talk about strategy. Levi and I see ourselves as coaches.
It's not just marketing. You execute their marketing, but you also talk to them about best practices and business strategy.
What separates us in this industry from any other agency in the industry is that we're focused on strategy and coaching our customers, not just giving them deliverables, not just taking their marketing playbook and executing that. It's here's our playbook, here's the strategy. If you run it, if you let us coach you through this, you will be successful.
Yeah. How did you guys find that messaging, the internal messaging you were putting out to those customers? How did you guys discover that?
A lot of it came to just talking to our customers, figuring out, being very customer centric, building those relationships to where they would actually talk to us about personal things. What are the things that they lie awake at night worrying about? What are they, they worry about making payroll just like other business owners do. They worry about the competition down the street, and anybody that is alive understands that there's a lot of car washes popping up all over the place. And so they're worried about market saturation and beating the competition. Private equity comes in, and oftentimes the goal of private equity is just to put the small washes out of business and then take over the market. So they're worried about all of those different things, but they're also not spending enough time with their family. They're not able to get away from the business for more than a day without having to put out a fire. Yeah. And so we started using the word freedom. And that's even what our framework is called, the 5 funnels to freedom. If you apply these 5 things to your car wash, you will have freedom in your business. And that resonates with most of our customers, that I want to have a business that I can walk away from for 30 days and it not skip a beat.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That's what we want to give to people.
It sounds like even as a coach, once you kind of find that niche, you work at those messages start to appear as you talk and identify that.
And it comes with being very relational with your customers and giving them the space and the friendship to talk to you about the things that really, because most of them, in the car wash space, it's a great industry, but a lot of them are very closed to other people knowing about their business or their numbers or their strategies or different things. And so they don't talk a lot about those personal things. And we've just become a very trustworthy agency that we absolutely care about our customers, and they will talk to us about things that they most likely wouldn't talk to other people about.
You guys have a strategy for that? I mean, you've gone pretty quickly into gaining that trust.
The strategy is hire relational people, hire people that care about people. Yeah. And that's really been our strategy. That is the thing, and you guys know this. We can teach, strategy. We can teach marketing. We can teach all those things. It's difficult to teach culture. And so when we hire people, we hire the right people to be the kind of person we want them to be to our customers. And then if they can't do some of the things we need them to do, we teach them how to do it. Because you can't teach relational people or non-relational people to be relational.
Yeah. Can you walk us through, if you're willing, and you can do this from another coach's perspective, it doesn't have to be what you guys do, but how you monetize coaching? Like, give me all the different ways that people can actually pay you. Is it just one membership fee and there's events every year, or is it one-on-one coaching, or are you doing on-demand courses? What are all the ways that you're getting the information and coaching out there?
So before we pivoted, we were, charging, our average customer was $50 a month. Now it's $2,500 a month. And that includes more marketing services, but a big part of it is the strategy. And what we tell people is you can go find the strategy. I mean, with AI now, you can find strategy wherever you want. What we're really selling is execution, accountability. And so we charge a premium for what we do because we're going to make sure you get it done, and you're going to get it done well, and you're going to get it done right. And so that's, we have one product now. We had 3, and we went all in on what we call our freedom package, which is everything that we offer plus strategy. And that is the one thing that the industry doesn't have, is anybody giving them strategy.
And it's $2,500 a month.
It's $2,500 a month.
In 2025 prices.
Yeah, with one location. And then it goes up, and it tiers up at the more locations they have. Most of them have 1 to 3 locations, and then we have some that have 200 locations.
You brought up artificial intelligence. A lot of coaches have bought into the lie that they're being replaced by AI. Yeah. I think the truth is, if you keep offering what you used to offer, you're being taken over by AI. But the reality is the problem in your customer's mind has shifted. It hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
It's just shifted.
Right.
And a lot of it is AI overwhelm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a business owner in this country who feels like they aren't missing the boat on the opportunities given to them by AI, who would pay somebody a lot of money to help them get on the boat.
Right.
And so you've got to figure out as a coach how to lead the way, and you don't have to have a comprehensive understanding of AI in every moment. You just have to know how to use a few tools on behalf of your client, or teach them to use those tools in order to get better results.
Right.
How have you guys handled the AI intrusion, if you will, and brought that into a business that sounds like it's growing?
So one of the things that we've learned is a lot of people still don't know how to use AI, for one thing. So learning how to use it.
And they probably never will.
They don't want to take the time.
Want to.
Yeah, they don't want to take the time to do it. They want somebody else to do it. They might dabble with it, and they get mediocre results, and then they give up on it because it's like, this isn't any good. And so we're using AI in our business, mostly in onboarding, to make onboarding a lot easier, a lot faster, so we can get them quicker wins, get them set up and moving a lot faster. And we're building it into some of our platform as well. But where I tell people, what AI can't do for you is hold you accountable to get it done. So it may give you a great strategy, but again, going back to car wash operators and most small business owners, they are so in the weeds of their business, they're easily distracted, and so they don't get the things done that they need to get done. As a coach, that's what you're selling. And that's what I tell coaches all the time that come to me and they say, well, we've got this framework and we do this and we do this. Those are all great, but you're not selling your framework. They can find a framework anywhere. What you're selling is execution and accountability. That's what you're selling. I'm going to make sure you get this done. And if you stick with me and I push you over and over again, you will be this much successful on the other side. And you're really selling the other side of that.
Yeah, I think there's just, the message of the moment is AI has brought in enormous opportunities for you, and you're not taking advantage of any of them.
Right.
Because you don't know where to start, how to execute, and you're not being held accountable to actually get the results. I mean, you pitch that message as a coach, and it's going to resonate very, very strongly.
Yeah.
I think some of the coaches out there who feel like their days are over, one, that's a confirmation bias that you're going to see. And second, you don't realize how easy it is just to pivot your message and actually have a more successful coaching business. And not only that, how to use AI to deliver better coaching.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, all of that is out there. I want to get back into just real quick the messaging that any industry can learn from that you've learned in the car wash industry. For example, you and I were at a car wash show in Las Vegas and spoke to 1,000 people or something like that in a room. And you talked about how you changed the sign that somebody reads when they pull up to a car wash and saw how much growth in that business.
So they saw, let me see if I can remember, it was probably just within the first month, I think he saw a 12% increase in his top wash and overall sales with it simply because he changed the sign. It made it more
And
simple.
what did he do to the sign? Because we're talking about the message. This is how any small business should message their offer.
Yeah.
Right?
So anybody that's driven up to a car wash, the signs are ridiculous. There's icons all over the place. There's colors all over the place. And they're honestly sold, these signs, by these chemical companies that will say, yeah, your car customers are going to love this brand tire shine all over it. And they're going to love these icons and you should put them all over it. And the reality is most of the customers are confused about what any of that stuff is.
Yeah.
And what we've seen is when people drive up to a car wash confused about what to purchase, they just go with the cheapest wash because they know, okay, I know what I'm going to get. Nobody knows what ceramic is or graphene or any of that stuff. And so what we encouraged customers to do, and we've had a few customers that have done it and have great results because they've done it, is to take your menu and stop having 5, 6 wash options on there, narrow it down to 3, make it as simple as good, better, best, tell them exactly what it does. They don't care about all the chemicals that are there. They just want to know what's the result I'm going to get. Where that top wash is, you're going to have a showroom finish that's going to keep your car cleaner longer. Something like that. And just make it extremely simple. Get rid of the icons, get rid of all the colors. And when you do that, you're going to see an increase in every single one of our customers that have simplified their messaging to good, better, best. And here's the results of this wash, have seen an increase in their top washes and their overall sales because of it.
You're also removing a lot of inside language. And that's basically what you were saying there with all these chemical whatevers. There's so much inside language that so many industries use that make a lot of sense to somebody who's in competition to you, but they make no sense to your client.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I drove the car wash that I used to be a member of. They would have these signs all over the place that just said, get ceramic, put ceramic. I didn't know what ceramic was before I started working in the car wash industry.
Yeah, it sounds like pottery.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And now it's graphene. And when I started working in the car wash industry, our CEO, Levi, I said, explain to me what ceramic does. And he says, well, it's like sunscreen for your car.
There you go.
There you go.
There's the talking point.
Every time I go to the airport now and I've got to leave my car outside,
yeah,
I go to the wash and get ceramic on my wash on my car because I know it's going to be protected from the sun while it's sitting out there in the parking lot. Now I know what it does. And the problem is most of your customers have no idea what these things are and what it does for them. And once they figure it out, they'll buy it. But if they don't know what it is, they're not going to buy it.
You and I have talked extensively about all the people who work at a car wash becoming messengers, right? And putting words in their mouth that will actually grow the business. You've got these people out there, they're, pre-soaking the car before it goes into the tunnel. There may be people hand drying, toweling, vacuuming, sort of stuff like that. Have you had any experience helping car washes figure out how to turn all of those employees into message repeaters that grow a business?
Yeah, we've had some. They've taken some of the advice even that you've given on some podcasts that you've been on with us, of taking that language when people are in the vacuum bays after they go through the tunnels and they're there to get the free vacuums and stuff, and just having a customer walk up and say, man, that's a great looking car.
Having somebody in,
one of your employees, man, that's a great looking car.
Yeah. So you teach them
we teach them to do all of those things. We teach them.
That's why they're there.
Exactly.
Yep.
They're not there to get a clean car. They're there to what the clean car does for them internally. And that's the language that we speak of. One of the things that we talk about, and honestly, when you're niching down, one of the things to think of is how can we disrupt the industry? And that's one of the things that we wanted to do is how could we disrupt this industry? One of the ways that we've disrupted this industry that ruffled a lot of feathers when we first got into it was we hated on the word unlimited. I hate the word unlimited car washes because your customers are not showing up to buy a monthly membership to get unlimited car washes. They're not going to go wash their car every single day or multiple times a day. They want the freedom to wash when they want to. They want that clean car feeling when they need it. And so we've pushed back on that word unlimited to help people sell freedom, using some of the language. You have the freedom to wash whenever you want to. You have the freedom to not worry about the weather tomorrow. If you want a clean car today and it's going to rain tomorrow, enjoy a clean car today because you can come back later and not pay extra for the wash. I think the word unlimited is overused, and I think in industries over and over again, you can find those little things that are in the industry that you can push back on that is poor messaging that will help disrupt the industry and help you stand out as a coach, as a strategist, because you're saying something different than what everybody else is saying.
As a coach, what are the messages that you give to your car wash owners to just sort of inspire them and keep them in the game? I imagine a lot of this is emotional messaging to the clients themselves. I mean, what are you saying to these guys?
Well,
I are out there, by the way, busting their butt in a very competitive industry.
Yeah. I sent an email out this morning that I probably rewrote 3 times because I felt like it was maybe too harsh. And I sent it out and may have still been too harsh. But one of the things that I tried to say to them is, you're making this more complicated than it has to be. You don't have to complicate your marketing. You don't have to look at every single new trend, every shiny object that comes out. If you focus on your messaging, if you focus on clarity, if you focus on not confusing your customers and making it absolutely simple, you will win, because your competitors, they're chasing all the new trends. They're trying to figure out which Instagram filter is going to get the most engagement. If you focus on clarity, you run this playbook, you will win. And yeah, I sent that email out this morning, very nervous, and I got one complaint back that said it was a little bit too harsh, but
not 5 complaints. Just
no. In fact, I had a couple of them say, "Man, that was what we needed to hear. We needed a kick in the butt." And that, and I responded to that customer. I said, "I think it's the coach in me. Like, we are obsessed about your success, and hopefully you have, everything that you know about who we are. The one thing we want you to understand is we are invested in your success, and we're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear." Yeah. And we're seeing it over and over again. Some of our customers chasing after these shiny objects, and we're trying to rein them back in and say, just focus on this, focus on simplicity, focus on clarity, and you will win.
I want to know specifically how you use social media as a medium. What are the messages that you're putting out on social media to grow a successful coaching agency?
Yep. So we figured out probably 3 pillars that we needed to talk about over and over again. And one of I think the biggest epiphany for us was we can't say the same thing too many times.
Meaning you need to.
You need
say
to.
the same thing too many times.
Like we had to stop assuming our customers knew these things.
So
or
just
our audience.
Repeating the message.
We're repeating the same
I'm
messages
getting
over and over
here.
again.
Principle number 1, repeat the same thing.
Repeat the same message over and over again. Stop assuming that people have already heard this or they already know. And so we started doing that. We have talked about the successes that our other customers have had, how they had that success. We tell these stories, and then we pull in what our strategy looks like. Here's, we have 5 parts to our strategy that we run, and that's 5 different things that I can consistently talk about over and over again, just in that. And we just talk about how we do it, how we get success for our customers, and what success looks like for our customers. And we help them, even through that, paint a vision of what their life could look like if they listen to these things. Honestly, the biggest epiphany, though, for us was stop assuming that our customers already know, because they need to hear it over and over again, because maybe they know, but they're not doing it.
What are some of the messages that you've put out there that you've repeated over and over that's just like the chorus in a song? You're going to come right back to it and say it again.
Yeah. One of them is the low-hanging fruit. For a lot of our car wash customers, they are not capturing data from their customers as they drive over to the lot. And I assume, because that is the first thing that we talk about over and over again. And so that's one of the things that I say is you've got to have signage up there that lets people know they can get a free car wash if they join your text club. If you have no signs, you're not capturing the data to your customers. They're coming into your wash and they're never showing back up again because you have no way to get them back. And we feel like we've beat that dead horse. And then we meet with some of our biggest clients that come to us and say, I can't believe we still don't have signage up and I just heard you say it, and it was the kick in the pants I needed to go and get signage up at our wash.
People will hear this and say, no, I can't say that twice. And my pushback to that is that Dave Ramsey has said dead is dumb.
Yeah.
50 million times, and he's not going to stop saying it. He's going to say it again, and he's saying it to the exact same people. And he has a $300+ million organization saying it.
Right. Well, and what we've learned is somebody might see your message on it, that you did today, and won't see the one that you did tomorrow because of the way that the algorithm works. So you might have to get 5 different things up there just for somebody to see it once because of the algorithm. So keep talking about the same things over and over again. I tell people, beat the dead horse over and over again, because people, it often goes in one ear at the other.
How do you know which horse to beat to death? How did you figure out what message to repeat? What process did you guys go through to say, look, these are our core messages? Or is there one core message that you're repeating over and over?
I go back and look at the questions that a lot of people are asking. So if I send an email out, I'll sometimes get responses back that say, hey, that's a great idea, we're not doing this. And I'm like, well, I've said that idea like 10 times, but now you're not doing it. And so that's a question that I can get. I look on the Facebook groups that we're a part of and see what kind of questions that are being asked on there. And I was like, well, we talk about that a lot. People are still not getting it. So I go and talk through it. I look at the questions. I see most of the threads that come through on Basecamp that go to our account managers from their accounts to the problems that they're having. And I look at that and I say, okay, that's a problem I can speak to. We've spoken to it before, but maybe I wasn't clear enough, or maybe they just need to hear it again. So it's easy if you start paying attention to the questions that are being asked from the people that you're talking to and trying to serve.
I think one of the objections a lot of people have is I've said it, I don't know how to say it again. Do you guys have any creative way you figure out how to say the same thing over and over and over? Or is it just a repeating of the same asset?
Different language?
How do you do it?
Intentionally use the same language?
Yeah, you can change some of the ways that you're saying it. I mean, I will use the basic same phrases over and over again. Like for us, I talk a lot about why car washes should stop using the word unlimited when they're talking about their monthly clubs. But I'll do it one way of saying why the word unlimited is overrated. And then I'll say, this is the most overrated word in the car washing industry. This is why your customers don't want unlimited car washes. This is what they really want. So I take it from different angles of here's why the word doesn't work, or here's what your customers really want and why they don't really want this. And you're selling it the wrong way. So we'll take different angles.
Sounds like the setup there is you can just keep
it's really the hook.
It's the hook that just you keep saying it over and over, just in a different way.
And what's fun is you start to see which hook really resonates with people. Then I'll take that and I'll put that into a blog post or a social media post.
I was going to ask you about that. How do you cross-pollinate these messages? I mean, are you guys sending emails? You put in blog posts? You have a newsletter? You making YouTube videos?
All of the above.
All of the above. You're doing all of that. And you'll take the same content and distribute it in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah. So and a lot of times, social media is an easy way to see what are people resonating with, people are liking or sharing or commenting on it. And I can say, okay, well, I talked about this 3 different times, but here's the hook that worked. So I'm going to put this into an email, or I'm going to put this into, this is going to be the hook of our podcast episode this time, where we're going to talk about this. And it makes it kind of fun to see what's working, but also to really see what people are going to engage with. And then honestly, the things that people engage with, you double down on it and keep doing it because it's resonating with people.
How often do you say in social media that you are a coach for car wash owners? I mean, a lot of people who have coaching businesses, they don't even say that. Yeah. And so they assume people know, and they actually don't know.
Right.
And are you guys that basic often in your messaging, saying, look, you can, you might talk about the unlimited thing, but at the end you say, by the way, I'm Josh Taylor. I run a business that coaches car wash owners. If you want to grow your car wash, call me. Are you repeating that basic fundamental message?
Most of the things that we talk about are about car washes on the OptSpot side of things, and so they get it. I have started doing that more on my personal social media side because, when you're niching down, a lot of coaches are afraid to say, I work with this industry, because then you're saying, I don't work with these other industries. Right. And now this industry wants to pay me money, and I'm going to say no.
Well, I mean, even just saying you're a coach.
Yeah. Saying we're a coach, we do. Now, that is one of the things that we do like to talk about is what separates us is the strategy. There's plenty of marketing agencies that can do the stuff. We have the strategy. We come with the playbook. We make it simple.
And you're saying that we
talk about that. Yeah.
But are you saying that
probably not everyone, but probably every 3 or 4 videos that we post. That's
it's interesting.
One of the things we want to talk about.
I follow some guys in Nashville. There's 2 of them that I follow now. And it's the same formula, and it's incredibly effective. They'll show an architectural rendering of a new development in Nashville. You know, the steel yards just sold on the east side of the waterfront here in Nashville. It was a $250 million purchase, and they're going to make, you know, neighborhoods out of this. And they'll stand in front of a picture of that, digitally enhanced, and they'll say, here's what's happening. It costs $245 million. The city is going to zone this. It's probably going to end up being a neighborhood. By the way, I'm Jake. I'm a real estate agent here if you're looking for a house. So they're actually finding something that gets your attention only so they can hook their message up to the end of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way I'd follow a real estate agent. I have a house. I'm not in the market for a house. And I end up following these guys.
Yeah.
And their formula is elevating their, you know, public awareness about the fact that they do this. It's sort of genius.
Yeah.
Because what they've done is they've figured out the actual message is, my name is Jake and I can be your real estate agent and find you a house. And they're figuring out where to put it just so that somebody, it's almost like the Trojan horse. The horse is this information about how Nashville is changing and what developments are occurring and the new restaurants you're going to be able to eat at, so that I can pop out of the horse and go, if you ever need to buy a house, you know, I'm here.
Well, I think it's genius, and it goes back to something that I've heard you say before. You know, you've talked about stepping on stage and not introducing yourself as the first thing, because most people don't really care who you are.
They care until they know what problem.
Exactly. And once they know the problem that you solve, now they care about who you are. And so that comes last. And I've done it when I go on stage and speak, and I probably should be doing it more with our social media.
Well, any coach can show a little clip of Churchill doing something and talk about the principle that Churchill subscribed to in order to get this thing done. And then say, by the way, I'm a leadership coach. If you want to lead at the highest level, you can hire me. And then you can do that with Taylor Swift. You can do that. I mean, you could do that on and on and on and on and grow a coaching business relatively easy. The key is the repeatable line, I'm a coach and I can help you accomplish X.
Yeah.
Or if you struggle with X, I'm a coach and I can help you accomplish Y.
Right.
You know, but you got to piggyback it on something.
Valuable.
There's a gal I follow, a former D1 golfer. I can't remember her name. It's like Swaggy something is her YouTube handle. And all she does is look at the camera, repeat a conspiracy theory, and then say, now watch me drive this ball, and goes over and hits the ball. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm following some D1 college golfer, except she's freaking hilarious on these conspiracy theories. But she's elevating her personal brand in a massive way. It has hundreds of thousands of followers.
Well, she's doing the one thing.
She can also hit a freaking golf ball.
So she's entertaining up front, and then, you know, she's letting people know this is who I am.
Yeah.
And she's entertaining them again on the back end.
There's also a strategy.
There's some level of competency people are looking for as well, because I follow those guys too, who will break down, you know, marketing campaigns around sports. And they'll always start with like, there's something that happened at this event. Yeah. I'm going to break this down. Then they insert like, I'm so-and-so, I used to work here. Let me tell you why this is interesting. There's some kind of entrance that you're making where you're really starting first with why is this interesting to me?
Yeah.
You're starting with that customer first. This is why this is interesting. I've earned your trust. Now I go.
Well, you're giving them something they want up front.
Yes.
Which can be entertainment, which can be edutainment. Hopefully it's edutainment if you're a coach. A buddy of mine years and years and years ago, before I ever wrote a book, I told him I wanted to be a writer, and he was wrapping up, I think, his first book. And he said, Don, when all else fails, entertain. And this is an intellectual. This guy's a professor. But he knew it. He knew, like, you've got to get their attention in order to teach them anything. Yeah. And I think it's true, especially in this day and age, you've got to get their attention in order to sell them anything. And if you open up with a sales pitch, it's not going to work. Yeah. But if you actually, and I think of like here's a decision that Churchill made, or here's a decision that, you know, Eisenhower made when he was a general, and you can make these kind of decisions too. That's the part where you sort of hook yourself up to some sort of success that's happened. And then what you're really doing is you're the guy at Costco giving out the sample cheese, the sample quiche, and then just go, you want this for breakfast? You can buy it. Yeah. You know, and you want to lead like this? You can buy it. Right.
Well, I pull in, you know, my pastor passed here, but, you know, and this is something that I would tell churches all the time. You know, what churches would often do is, let's bring people here, let's preach to them, and then they got to stick around for the message if they want the food. I was like, you should be doing it the other way around, because that's what Jesus did. He gave people what they needed first. whether it was healing or food or something like that. And then he gave them the message, but he earned the right to sit with them and give them the message that he had for them. But he gave them what they wanted first. They were there for food, and then he ultimately gave them what they need. And that's, I don't know if, Don, I've heard you say this or somebody else, but it's give people what they people come to you to get what they want, but what you're really going to give them is what they need.
Yeah.
So,
or give them what they want first, and then tell them what they need.
And then what they need.
Yeah.
And that's the approach that we try to take. You want to grow your marketing, but here's really what you need. You need freedom. You need to get out of the weeds of your business.
Yeah.
And we're going to help you do that.
Well, Josh, I think we've helped a lot of coaches figure out how to use social media and maybe inspire them to do so.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the StoryBrand podcast. No matter where you are in your marketing and messaging journey, get the tools, the training, and the support you need to start clarifying that message at StoryBrand.com. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and then leave a comment letting us know what resonated with you and what we can unpack to help your business grow in a future episode. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week.